Hello everyone and welcome to Crystal's Crochet Cubbyhole. Today is our Tutorial Tuesday, tongue twister there. And today we're going to make a washcloth using the moss stitch. Now the yarn I'm using is Sugars and Cream Stripes. It's a medium 4. It calls for a 5mm crochet hook. I am going up one size to a 6 for my washcloth. And this is in the color Lime Stripes. Beautiful, see? Oh, right there. Okay, so you'll need a pair of scissors, a tape measure because we want to make it approximately 10 inches, a darning needle to sew in your ends, of course your 6mm crochet hook, and your cotton yarn that you're going to use. So let's get ready to get started. And I do 2 tutorials every Tutorial Tuesday. One's left-handed, one's right-handed. I am left-handed, so the original one that you see is where I'm doing it correctly. On the right-handed one, what I do is I flip my video so that it looks like I'm doing it with my right hand, so that someone that's right-handed can also follow along and crochet with us if they want. So to start off with the moss stitch, we need to chain. We're going to do a slip knot. And then when you make your chain needs to be an odd number. So I'm going to start off and do 29. I think it might get me right at 10 inches. So let's crochet 20 or chain 29 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. Now let's measure it and see. Make sure I'm in the camera there where you can see me. And that is right at 10 inches, so that's good. That's where we want to be. So when you start this, we are going to skip the first chain from the hook, and we are going to go into the second chain from the hook and do a single crochet. So you'll go into that second chain, wrap your yarn over your hook, pull through. You have 2 loops on the hook. Wrap your yarn over, pull through both loops. That's a single crochet. So we're going to go into the next chain and do a single crochet. Go in, wrap your yarn around, pull through. 2 loops on your hook, wrap your yarn around, pull through. One more time, and then I'll meet you at the end. I got Lynn on here. Hook goes in through the loop, through the chain, wrap your yarn around, pull it through. 2 loops on your hook, wrap your yarn around, pull through both loops. So continue doing that, and I'll meet you back right near the end, okay? Okay, we're coming up on the end, so I'm going to insert my hook into the next chain, wrap my yarn around, pull through. 2 loops on my hook, wrap your yarn around, pull through 2. That's a single crochet. I'm going to single crochet all the way to the end. So we got one more loop, so we're going to single crochet into that last chain. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So this is what it should look like so far. Okay, now for this next row, you are going to single crochet right here in this first chain, not counting where we chained 1, but in this first chain right here. So it's really the second chain from the hook. You're going to go in and you're going to single crochet, and then you're going to chain 1. Okay, Now we're going to skip the next stitch, and in the next one after that we were going to go in and do a single crochet. Insert your hook, wrap over your yarn, pull through, got 2 loops, wrap your yarn, pull through both loops. Then we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to skip the next stitch, go into the one after that, single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, and chain 1. And you can look from the top. If you look from the top, you'll be able to see your V's or your little stitches. So we're going to skip a stitch, go into the next one, single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1. And we're going to do that all the way to the end, and I will meet you when we get close to the end. Okay, we're coming up toward the end. So we just single crocheted and chained 1. I'm going to skip a stitch. I'm going to single crochet and chain 1. Skip a stitch, single crochet. Well, okay, there we go. And now I want to pause here a minute. We only have 1 stitch left. So we are not going to chain 1 on this last single crochet here. Instead, our last 2 stitches in this will be just single crochets. So you do a single crochet in this stitch and a single crochet in this stitch, and I will show you again on the next round. Then you will chain 1, and that creates the space that we're needing when we turn our work. So we've turned our work, and now here we're going to, in this first area right here, we're going to single crochet and chain 1. Now, if you'll look, and you can pull away and pull your yarn apart and look, you have those chain 1 spaces. That is where we're going to work our single crochets from now on, is in those chain 1 spaces. So we're skipping this stitch, and into the chain 1 space we're going to single crochet and chain 1. Skip a stitch, and you can find it with your fingers. There's your chain 1 space. Single crochet into the chain 1 space, chain 1. And you're going to find the next chain 1 space, do a single crochet and a chain 1. Now you'll do that all the way down through there. Just looking, if you pull it apart, you're going to see your chain 1 spaces in between those single crochets from the row before. So you do a single crochet, chain 1 in each of those chain 1 spaces, and I'll meet you down here near the end. Okay, we're coming up on the end, and so we're going to skip this. You see that little V, sideways V right there? We're going to skip it, and right next to it is our chain 1 space. So we're going into our chain 1 space and single crochet, chain 1. Now here we are at the end, and this is our last chain 1 space. So we're going to go in and single crochet, and instead of chaining 1, because that's our last chain 1 space, we're going to just do a single crochet in that one, and then we've got 1 stitch left. So we're going to go into it and do a single crochet. So at the end of each row, you're doing a single crochet in the last 2 stitches or spaces that you utilize. So then we're going to chain 1 and turn. And make sure I got some extra yarn here. Okay, so we're going into this very first space, and we're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet, chain 1. Then we're going to find our next chain 1 space. See, we skipped that where we connected it to the row below. There's our chain 1 space. We're going to go in, single crochet, chain 1. And see, that's the pattern we're going to repeat from now on. I will finish out this row with you, and then do a few rows and get back with you and make sure everyone is, understanding. So now we're going to find the next chain one space from below, from the last row, single crochet, chain one space, single crochet into the chain one space, chain one. There's the next space, single crochet, chain one. So we're skipping a stitch, and in the next stitch, which is the chain one space, we are single crocheting and chaining one. And we will do that all the way to the end of the row. And at the end of the row, we do just that slight little bit of difference. We do not do a chain one in that last, after that last single crochet in the space, in the chain one space from the last time. So single crochet, chain one, skip a space, single crochet in the chain one space, chain one, skip, next stitch in that space, we're going to do a single crochet, chain one, next chain one space, single crochet, chain one, and we're skipping, chain one space is right there, we're going to single crochet, chain one. Now we're at our last chain one space, so we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to go immediately into the very last stitch of the round and do another single crochet. And then we're going to chain one and turn our work. So you repeat that. And see, there's what we're looking at so far. You repeat that until you get it the width that you want it. And the moss stitch, from what I understand, is one of the lowest lying stitches that you have in crochet. It lays the lowest. So it probably will take quite a bit of yarn, because it's laying real tight and low. This is also the stitch that I'm using for my temperature blanket to try to keep it from being too huge. But there we go. Let's see. I'll get you started, and then I'll pause, and then I'll meet you at the end one more time. And then we'll do some on our own, and then we'll come back and try it again. And you're welcome to rewind as many times as you need to, pause, whatever. And if you're left-handed, then you can watch my left-handed version. And if you're right-handed, you can watch the right-handed tutorial. That's why I put both out there. I cannot crochet right-handed, but I do flip the video so that it shows it right-handed, so that you can see it and understand it like a right-handed would. So our first space, we're going to single crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, next space, you're going to single crochet, chain one. Now I will meet you at the end in just a minute. Okay, we're at the last. We've got one space left. So we're skipping a stitch, going into this last chain one space, single crocheting. Do not chain one. We're going to immediately go into the very last stitch of the row and do another single crochet. Now you will chain one and turn your work. Now you keep doing that until you get it to the width that you want for your washcloth. And I will meet you back in a little bit. Okay, here's where I'm at so far. I just wanted to point out something again. At the very end, I've got one space left, and so I'm going to skip a skip a stitch, and in the space, chain one, single crochet, do not chain one. Then you have to look for that other V right there, because it's kind of almost laying on its side a little bit. And then you do a single crochet into that stitch. That's your last stitch of the row. Then you chain one and turn. So just make sure that at the end of each row, all through the row, you're doing a single crochet, chain one, skip one. Single crochet, chain one, skip one. When you get to the last space that you do your single crochet into, you do not chain one. You just immediately go into the very last chain of the row and do another single crochet, and then you'll do a chain one and turn. So just make sure you get those when you're doing it. And that'll try to keep it a little bit even for you. And that looks a little bit smaller, I think. Yeah, it shrunk on me. Oh, well, this will be a small washcloth. That chain looked like it's about 10 inches a while ago, but once I started my stitches, it's down to 8. Which is fine. That's still a decent sized washcloth. Could be used for your face or whatever. So, okay. I'm going to crochet a few more rows and get it wider. So now, since it's only about 8 inches this way, I want to make sure it's at least 8 inches that way. So, I will meet you back in a little bit. Okay, guys, here's what I have so far. Let's see if I can back it up a little bit. Okay, and if I measure across, it's approximately 8 inches. And measuring up, it's like almost 8. So I think I need one more row. So I'll do one more row with you. And then this should be finished. So let's see. Okay. So I had chained 1 and turned for my last row. So now I'm going to go into this very first spot here. Single crochet, chain 1. Go to the next space. Single crochet, chain 1. So we're skipping a stitch and going into the space next to it and doing a single crochet, chain 1. Single crochet, chain 1. Single crochet, chain 1. We're skipping 1 and into this space. We're doing a single crochet, chain 1. Give me some more yarn. Okay. Skipping 1, going into this space. We're doing a single crochet, chain 1. Skipping 1 and into that space next to it. We're doing a single crochet, chain 1. Skip in the space. We're doing a single crochet, chain 1. Single crochet, chain 1 in each of those chain 1 spaces from before. Single crochet, chain 1. Single crochet, chain 1. Single crochet, chain 1. We're down to our last chain 1 space. So we're going to do a single crochet, do not chain 1. And in that very last stitch, laying on its side there a little bit, we're going to go in and do a single crochet. And I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And now let's measure and see what we've got. We know it was 8 inches approximately this way. So now let's see if it's approximately 8 inches that way. And it is. So I'm going to pull up. I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn, leaving enough to weave in. Pull that through, cinch it off. And there is our washcloth with using the moss stitch. And that's a beautiful stitch. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to shake that. It's kind of the same on both sides. It's the same on both sides. So there's our moss stitch, and there's our washcloth. You just weave in your ends, and then you'll be done. And this washcloth will be done. And this is the 3rd one in our series. So far, we have learned how to do a Suzette stitch, a moss stitch, and a half double crochet. So I'm just going in here, weaving in between all these loops, and you just weave back and forth a few times. And that should take care of it. Pull that out. Now to make sure that I didn't get it too tight, from sewing it in and back and forth. Then I'll cut off the excess. And this washcloth might be pretty even with a little border around it. And that might make it a little bit larger since it was a little bit short. It wasn't quite 10 inches. It came out at 8. So if you wanted to go around and do just a single crochet all the way around before you cut your yarn, that would be fine. Can't get that through. There we go. So I'm just weaving in and out. And then we'll make sure I didn't pull that too tight. And then weave it one way, then the other way, and then back one more time. And that should hold it in there and keep it from coming loose on you. There you go. Cut the loose end. There we go. And then there is our washcloth. Let's see. There's our washcloth using the moss stitch. And then we can fold it up, ever how you want to fold it. And there's our little washcloth. This one's a little bit smaller. This might be a nice one for your face. You can use the cotton washcloths on your face, for washcloths for your body, for dishes, things like that. So there's that one, and this tutorial is done. If there's any certain stitches you would like me to do a washcloth in, if you'd let me know, I will try to do a washcloth in that stitch. And if it's one I do not know yet, I will learn it and then teach you how to do it. How's that sound? And I really appreciate you guys. I love you, and I thank you so much for all your support and help and your encouragement, because I am learning right along with you as far as I'm learning to do tutorials, and you're learning a stitch from me. And so any feedback would be appreciated. And I guess that's it for right now. Love you guys. And we will talk to you later in Crystal's Crochet Cubbyhole, okay? Bye for now.